Once upon a time, nestled atop a peaceful, mist-shrouded mountain, stood a small Buddhist monastery. Within its silent walls lived a wise master and his few disciples, dedicated to the path of inner peace and mindfulness. Their days flowed in a rhythm of meditation and quiet contemplation, a life of serene simplicity. Among them was a young disciple, new to the spiritual path. His heart was sincere, his enthusiasm bright, but his understanding was still tender. Like the others, he descended the mountain each morning to collect alms from the nearby village. One day, as he approached a house, he knocked. The door opened, revealing a young woman. She had just bathed, and her wet hair framed a face that seemed to radiate a gentle, ethereal light. The young monk, shielded from the world, had never witnessed such beauty. His breath caught in his throat. He was transfixed. The woman smiled kindly, a gesture that felt like sunshine breaking through clouds. She retreated inside and returned with food, offering it with genuine respect. The young monk, flustered, mumbled his thanks and hurried back to the monastery. But the woman's image, luminous and unforgettable, had taken root in his mind. The next morning he awoke before dawn, his heart already racing. Though the monks were taught to vary their routes, he found himself drawn back to the same house. He knocked, and the young woman greeted him again, her smile as radiant as he remembered. Again she offered food with grace. He accepted, his mind a whirlwind of conflicting emotions. Driven by an irresistible impulse, the young monk arrived at her house even earlier the following morning. The woman, surprised but still gracious, met him at the door. "Venerable sir," she said politely, "I usually offer alms after my morning bath. You've arrived a bit early today. Would you mind waiting while I go to the river? I'll return shortly." The monk, his heart pounding, agreed. As soon as she departed, he was seized by a dark compulsion. He followed her, silently, stealthily, like a shadow. He watched, hidden behind the thick trunk of an ancient tree as she entered the river. Shame washed over him, a burning tide of guilt. "What am I doing?" He thought, his conscience screaming. But the burgeoning lust within him, a force he had never truly confronted, overwhelmed his reason. He remained hidden, a captive to his own desires, his eyes glued to her. After her bath, the woman returned home, unaware of the violation she had unknowingly suffered. The young monk, heart pounding with shame and exhilaration, raced back to her doorstep, feigning patience. She offered him food, her kindness a sharp, stinging rebuke. From that day forward, a dark ritual consumed him. Each morning he would secretly watch the woman bathe, then collect alms from her, his heart a battleground between guilt and obsession. He withdrew from his fellow monks, lost in his intoxicating, forbidden thoughts. Meditation became a torment, his mind a restless sea. The master, with his keen perception, noticed the change in his disciple. The light in his eyes had dimmed, replaced by a haunted shadow. One day he called the young monk to him. "What troubles you, child?" he asked gently, his voice filled with concern. The disciple, unable to meet his master's gaze, mumbled, "Nothing, master. I am not feeling well." The master, his heart heavy, remained silent, but his watchful gaze intensified. The next morning, as the disciple left for alms, the master followed, unseen. From a distance, he witnessed the heartbreaking scene. The disciple, lurking behind the tree, his eyes filled with a desperate hunger, as he watched the woman in the river. The master sighed, a sound filled with profound sadness. His heart ached for the young man, lost in the wilderness of his own desires. Music. A single, mournful instrument carries the melody as the master approaches. Silently he approached the disciple and placed a firm, yet gentle hand on his shoulder. The young monk whirled around, his face contorted with terror. His skin paled, his body trembling. He stammered excuses, his voice cracking with shame. The master said nothing. He simply took the young man's hand and led him away from the river, back towards the mountain. After a long, silent walk, they arrived at a stagnant, muddy pond, its surface coated with scum. The master released his hand. "Can you cross this pond and return?" he asked calmly. The young monk, still trembling, nodded. He began to remove his robe. "Why do you remove your robe?" the master asked, his voice soft but firm.